guys, Chef Farouj here, founder of Indulge Right Foods. Welcome to another episode of Indulge Right in the Kitchen. Yep, I've got the whole hairnet and the whole 9 yards today. I got started. Let me see if you could guess what I've got in here. Yep. Apparently, today is National Phyllo Dough Day. Actually, that was yesterday, but it took me all day to roll all the dough. So I didn't get to do the video yesterday, so I'm doing it today. And as you can see, I've got started already. Halfway through, I remembered why I did this whole thing. To show you how to make the phyllo, or not the phyllo dough, I made that part, to spare you all the agony of rolling dough all day long. But how to make baklava. After all, this is one of my favorites actually. Not only I love eating baklava, but it's one of the foods that reminds me of my granny. That was one of the things I did with granny during the holidays before I left the house years ago. So, every time I think of baklava, I think of grandma. That's one of my favorites. So, in here, I made pretty much halfway through on this batch in here, and then I realized that I'm not filming it. So, I'm going to start another one. I'm going to keep this one pretty simple. Several layers on the bottom, the nut filling in the middle, several more layers on the top. You could do it in multiple ways. The layers vary. Everybody has their own variety or version of it. Some say you have to have 40 layers on the top, 40 on the bottom. Some do more like 8 or 10. In this particular case, I did about 10 layers of phyllo dough, gluten-free phyllo dough. And we'll do the same in here. And then we'll just top it up with some nuts and then move forward. We'll finish it up, bake it, top it up with some syrup. By the way, this is also sugar-free. So it is gluten-free and sugar-free. So let's get rolling. You see how thin this is? You could almost see through it. And that's how you want it. Really, really thin. Again, that's the hardest part, doing phyllo dough with gluten-free dough. It's really a pain to get it that thin without it shredding too much. Okay, you will still get some tears. Just going to happen. Not the nature of the beast, but that's how it is. So I'm just going to layer it. The hangovers in here, it's okay. I'm going to leave it. I'll just fold it in the next round. You're going to have some overlap, and that's okay. Between each layer, I'm going to drizzle a little butter. Now, this is one thing you don't want to be cheap with, the butter part, because that's what's going to make it crispy and caramelize it. So now I'm going to fold this excess in here, and bam. I'm going to patch this little piece in here, so we've got complete layers. All right, you guys can see me well here. All right, we'll do another one. Again, I'm not being cheap with the clarified butter. You want to have clarified butter. Forgot to mention that earlier. And then back onto another layer. It's okay if you patch the middle ones a bit with smaller pieces. That's totally fine. Nobody will know. You won't notice it. You won't miss it. It will not even show, right? So you remember you're doing several layers. Okay, so I got about 10 layers on the bottom layer here. And again, with some butter in between. Just going to top it up with some nice thick layer of nuts. Here I've got basically the sugar-free alternative to sugar that we use in our kitchen. Some cinnamon, and then walnuts. You could use different nuts as well, but I'm using walnuts in here today. You could add another layer in here, or you could just finish it up with the final layers, which is, that's where I am with this one here. So I'm just going to finish it up because I realized I've used most of my dough on this batch in here. So I'm going to finish it up. So I went ahead and finished the whole thing. I've got a nice about 10, 12 layers on top. So we've got basically a sandwich of nuts, right? So I'm just going to cut it before we bake it. You could cut it however shape you want. I'm just going to keep it simple. Alright, simply cut. I'm just going to make sure those that shifted are back into place. And then this goes into the oven at 350 until it's nice and golden brown. And then we'll top it off with the cold syrup and then let it sit and cool off. And it'll be ready. And here it is after about 35 minutes of baking. And voila! We've got some beautiful gluten-free, sugar-free Paklava. Check this out. I'm going to finish up in a bit. But check this out. Look at it, nice and brown, crispy, golden brown, crunchy. Look how thin that is. We rock. Alright, so now to finish it up, we're going to top it off with some cold, sugar-free syrup. And let that get all between the layers. Now here's the trick. One of the two has to be cold, right? In this case, my syrup is cold, so that, and then the baklava is nice and hot, so that it will absorb all that into the layers and get some awesomeness. And there you have it. That's all it takes. Oh, and by the way, remember when I got too excited earlier and started layering this baklava before turning on the camera? Remember how I started another small batch so I could kind of catch you up a little bit? Well, guess what? Also, remember when I said that there's multiple shapes, multiple forms, multiple ways of doing them, not just the way you cut it? Hold on. That's what we got now. We've got a roll. So what I did is basically separated the layers that I had in that small pan. So you have about 5 layers, so to speak. And then filled it inside and rolled it like a roulade. And then there you have it. I will sugar this one up too. And then we're good to go. Alright, you guys, I will have a link for you guys for more information. This one I will not torture you with the recipe and not going to let you go through the steps of rolling out the dough for the whole day. Well, I'll make it much, much easier for you. I'm going to have you skip the whole work. And if you like, you could actually order it for the holiday seasons. We'll have a link for you. We'll have all the information for you so that if you'd like to join me and enjoy some gluten-free, sugar-free baklava, you have that option. Hey, for some of us, it has been many years since we had some gluten-free baklava. I happen to have been making it for the last couple of years, but nonetheless, I will never say no to baklava, especially when it's sugar-free. So enjoy. I'll see you the next time.